Good afternoon, Nigerians, wherever you are in this beautiful country. It's another edition of the Polity coming to you live from the Abuja station of KAFTANTV. My name is Dayo, Omoogun, and I have with me in the studio this afternoon Barrister Lekan Oladapo. Is a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. You're welcome, Barrister Oladapo.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, today we're looking at the judiciary. A whole lot of things have happened in the last few days, few weeks, where you have conflicting pronouncements from courts. You have issues with prosecution of minors. You have the Code of Conduct decision on the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Omoogun, that was overturned at the Court of Appeal just a few days ago. And so we're looking at all of this, and because as they say, the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, and we want to be sure that that vestige of hope still remains. That citadel of hope is still strong, and we can count on it. And so today we're looking at the judiciary, the last hope of the common man. We want to be sure that some of these how do you want to call it, some of these decisions that tend to make a mockery of our judicial system are not they're just passing phases, and that they will be, particularly even with the new Chief Justice of Nigeria, Lekan. We want to believe that the hope of the common man can be renewed and strengthened. And so, Barrister, I'm sure you are aware of some of these things that I just enumerated. We have a situation, for example, just yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes. The president ordered that those minors who were in detention in the correctional services facility should be let go. They originally were billed for prosecution in the courts, and in the process we found out one of them fell, and did I hear later that that particular one died or something? He fainted and all that. So we're saying, ordinarily, should juveniles, should young children who are still within the category of the categorization of minor be found in prison facility for whatsoever reason? Is it right?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity to engage in these conversations once again on the burning issues in our polity. Like you have rightly noted, that judiciary is the last hope of the common man, is the beacon of common man. You will understand that even in the military era, whenever military take over power, the only arm of government that is intact is the judiciary. So it's more or less like in the word of the Bible, the cornerstone.
Exactly.
So it's a rejected stone, but it's the cornerstone of the society, of the Nigeria foundations. And Section 6 of the Constitution has made provisions for that. The role of the judiciary in interpreting the law, and the role of the judiciary checkmating all others arm of government through interpretation of the law and through judgment and judicial sanctions. But like you have rightly said, we have in our hands a very worrisome situation where we have conflicting of decisions in our court. There is no harmony, reconciliations of decision. When we were in school, we used to say that law is certain.
Exactly. There should be
certainties, because laws border on principles, judicial principles. And when court interpret the law, when court make a judicial pronouncement, it becomes law, it becomes a principle. Yep. And that principle have to be followed.
Which makes it a precedent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Courts do not know sentiments. court is not a place for sentiment. When you look at the statutes of the court, of the judiciary, you see a virgin woman blindfolded.
Yes.
So the essence is that there is no appeal to sentiment. He doesn't see
any sentiment.
He applies law as it is, and she applies law with force. So that is the essence, that is the function, that is the basis of judiciary in the society, in order to guide society in a lawful manner. We have legislative arm by the provision of section 4 and section 8 of the constitutions. They play their role in doing what? In making law for the peace and order of the society. So judiciary should ensure that laws that are being made by the legislative arm of government is followed. Because if you don't follow the law, if you don't follow the judicial process, judicial precedent, what result is anarchy. Things fall apart, like Chibajebe will say. So far corn cannot hear the far corners. So the far corner in this context is the judiciary that needs to preserve the law of the society. So coming to your question of the minor being locked up in correctional facilities, it is against the law. We have copious provision of the law that say once you are not of age or age 18, you cannot be locked up. If you commit offense, that offense, you could remember, sir, during the military era, they have forgotten the particular military government there. When I think it was during today, if I can check my fact very well, where they there was a judgment, a capital judgment to execute, to kill these minors. There was international reaction on it because it is against public policy. It is against the law. So that is why the law provides for foster homes, juvenile homes,
exactly,
and where we can keep the juveniles that are in conflict with the law, because we cannot call them offenders. You could only call a suspect an offender if there have been pronouncements of the law as he or she has been convicted. That's when they can say is an offender.
Okay.
So these minors that they are arrested, they have not been taken to, they have not been found guilty of any offense.
That's correct, yes.
So that is the job of the securities, of the police, or the relevant agency that law has saddled with their responsibilities. So to investigate properly whether they are culpable and to do proper profiling. Profiling is, who are these people? Where are they coming from? Are they jumping from the heaven? Are they children of particular parentage?
Parents.
Where are their parents? Where are they living? So they're supposed to do a proper profiling. But in this scenario, in this context, I've not seen any information in the public domain that point to the fact that there was proper investigations as per the identity of these young people. Before, on the camera, these people, they were tried and convicted. That is against the public policy, because we have not seen whether they have been investigated properly before they went to court and got a remand to be remanded
in prison
and lock up with the criminals.
And Barrister, to imagine that these children, some of them, according to reports, were in those facilities for 93 days, over 90 days. That's 90 days is 3 months.
Very correct.
And I do know that by the elementary law that I know that nobody should be held incommunicado like that without having
access,
without having access to, held out of circulation, put it out of circulation, and it's not as if they had been convicted. And then they now put some impossible bail conditions on them, asking that they pay a 10 million naira bail bond or something. And Barrister, I think that these things, we really need to, is this what the law says? Is this what the law purports? Is there any
that is not the position of the law. Even the court, Supreme Court, has made a pronouncement that the court should stop giving unattainable conditions, because
sometimes those kind of conditions become both laughable and tenuous.
Because the essence of bail is to guarantee that defendant will be available. Exactly. So you don't need to make it very complicated. You don't need to tie it to monetary things. In as much they can produce somebody who could guarantee their affordabilities, it suffices. But we have thrown all those things into the winds. So the court, even the lower court, the magistrate court in this context, they are not even following the law. The high court not even following the law, because by section 287(3) of the constitutions, the decision of the court must be followed, particularly from the hierarchy of the court. We take it from the Supreme Court, which is the apex court. So the lower courts are bound by the decisions of the Supreme Court, of the Superior Court. So given that kind of complicated bail conditions is a contradiction, and contradiction is in conflict with the decision of the Supreme Court. It flouts the law and it violates the fundamental rights of the.
We will still go further on that same route, because someone came here some time ago and said that one of the problems we have with Nigeria is the fact that we're a nation without consequences. And because there are no consequences, people keep doing the same things and getting away with them, and so there's no cleansing, there's no correction, there's no cleanup, and so the problems continue. They continue to multiply and fester, and that's why we find ourselves in the situation that we're in right now. So I think that a judge who can sit down and grant such bail conditions, I don't know, but I think that the judges body should do something about it, because you see, if nothing is done right now, there's every chance that it will be replicated. And that serves no one any good. I mean, those children, I think that the reports I saw was that the oldest among them was like 17. You expect a 17-year-old who's not the child, like you talked about profiling, who's not the child of a billionaire, to have 10 million to spare for bail? So it's it becomes, for me, it becomes laughable, because you know that this is totally not attainable, except if you had a plan. Maybe government had a plan to put those children in that detention indefinitely. Because how was each of those children going to source for 10 million?
10 million. You are correct, sir. You are correct, sir. So my thoughts align with your poster, the poster you just raised. What I'm saying that is, without proper profiling, how did you come to that?
Did you arrive even at that?
That they could afford
to bring 10 million.
Could come who is a close relative that could afford 10 million in this economy. More or less, looking at those minors, they have no sort of income of their own, their economic status in the societies. Because you don't need to say more. So a judge ought to look at, could this person afford, or is there anyone around him that is likely to be able to afford that could do so? So it is very, very, like you have said, we have NJC that coordinates, that regulates the court system in Nigeria. So the NJC, to a larger extent, regulate legal profession in Nigeria. So when we say legal profession, is an embodiment of all the legal practitioners,
both the bench and the bar.
Both the bench and the bar.
All right.
So the Supreme Court has statutory disciplinary power to sanction any legal practitioner that flout the law or the legal practitioners' rules of professional conduct. They have that power, but it is worrisome that they are not using that power. Maybe the problem is in the structures of our NJC. Maybe NJC itself needs a structure like Professor Odikalo has posited in one of his articles,
right,
that the CJN himself, who is the chairman of Judicial Council, has imposed so much, the law has imposed so much responsibilities. He amounts so much power to himself. So you discover that chairman of NJC is everywhere. And the law, the law has given him so much power that he doesn't need to even consult. He doesn't even need to sit with anybody to take a decision.
Wow.
So maybe
why are these decisions?
Maybe that gives room for corruptions. Like a professor will say that power corrupts
and absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Yes.
You know, it was not originally of that thing,
yes.
but he now analyze it in an article that the first person, that first victim of corruptions, because corruption is the owner of the power. So when you have a power that cannot be checked anywhere, it is innate that you
are likely to misuse
of the power, because there is no check and balance. So when you not give so much power to the chairman of the Judicial Service Agency, that a body that is responsible to impose sanctions to the erring judges, and they are not doing so. So that means that because the power is so much in one person, so NJC is not what we could, it is not institutionalized in the real sense
of institutional. I think that I get your point very much, because what it does is that maybe the intention of allowing that chairman to wield so much power was to be in a position where issues can be dealt with rapidly, can be dealt with speedily. But as it is, in spite of that power, we have not seen these irregularities being checked. So I must go with you that it's because there's too much power concentrated on one person, and so it becomes like he uses it
like a god,
exactly, at his own whim and caprice.
Yes, it's correct. Even one of the issues on public domain on the CJN, or as the chairman of the Judicial Service Commission, even the recruitment process, in the appointment of the judges, you discover that he wields so much power. There is allegation in the public domain against the former CJN that when he was grown, he appointed his son, he appointed his, I remember that it happened in the United States of America when J.F. Kennedy then appointed his brother, Robert Kennedy, as the Attorney General of the United States. It was as a result of that, the U.S. went ahead to enact the law against nepotism. So we should have a way to checkmate an individuals that amass so much power in the system, because that power, according to Professor Nwabese, is prone to abuse.
It's prone to abuse.
It could happen to anybody.
Yes.
It could be me or you.
Yes, exactly.
But if the power is left unchecked,
so it's a systemic problem right now. It then means that power has to be there must be a way, there must be a system. Yes, maybe constitutionally.
We need a reform.
Exactly.
Constitutional reform, statutory reform, to ensure that A is inverted points or fighting position to check B, so that there will be excess or misuse
of power.
Now,
we're still talking about the judiciary as the last hope of the common man, and looking at this topic, a view of certain things that have happened in recent times. And very shortly, maybe in a few more minutes, maybe when we, after the break, not immediately though, we will allow you to call in. Please have it at the back of your mind that you'll have opportunity to also weigh in on some of the issues that we're bringing to you. The number remains 0802-993-8365. Please take note of the number, and when it is time, I'll give you an alert so that we can do this together. So, like we were saying, so you hold minors in a correctional facility. You grant them bail, impossible bail conditions. Laughable bail conditions, because it becomes laughable when the person clearly cannot meet it.
Yes.
And then you also do not even allow, I don't know, I feel really personally, I'm sorry, but I think that Nigerians must really feel very aggrieved by what you just turned out with those minors. Because now, what does it take to fast track the process of prosecution so that you can quickly deal with this kind of matter? If they're not going to get bail, the option would have been, okay, let's see how we can speed up the prosecution so that if judgment is given and they are confirmed to be culpable, then the law will take its course. If not, then they quickly be freed. But thank God for the intervention of the president that has now let them off the hook. This is also not to support misbehavior or support violence, but we're saying that even in dealing with failures, even in dealing with law breakages, that we need to be methodical about it, and we need to follow the law appropriately. Like you have said, we cannot have a situation where one man wields so much power and so deploys it according to his mood. If he wakes up from the wrong side of the bed, then he could just do anything. I think that is an area that requires reform very, very urgently.
Yes.
Now, quickly, let's talk about Omoogun, the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, that was found, you are the lawyer, was found guilty also, was found guilty of some irregularity during his trial before the Code of Conduct Bureau some years back, I guess about 3 or 4 years back. And right now, having gone through the process at the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal has acquitted him. Acquitted means that discharged, and nothing was found wrong.
Yes.
So if nothing, Barrister, if nothing was found wrong by the Court of Appeal, you then ask yourself, how was something found wrong by the Code of Conduct Tribunal? Because are they not looking at the same laws? You know, we talked about certainty just now.
Yes.
Because when you pursue a matter, you should have an idea of how it should normally turn out, with if there are no sentiments, if it is objectively handled, if it is handled with integrity. So I'm curious, and I know many Nigerians will be curious, that this same case you said this man had done wrong, it gets to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal says exonerating. Yeah. Or do you think it's some, as police used to say, esprit de corps? Could it be some esprit de corps?
You know, it's not brought down to the systemic problem like we have rightly assessed. in our initial discussions.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, like, if not for the system has imposed so much power, concentrated so much power to an individual holder of the power, this thing wouldn't have happened. It could only happen during the military era. And I think military era is wiser now. The military era now, what is happening now, you know, compared with the military situation, is a sad irony that we would even prefer the military era to what is happening now. Because what happened during Omoogun was unwarranted, was totally uncalled for, right? It's against the constitutions, against the public policy. How do I mean? How do I mean is coming to the role of NJC, like I've rightly said. NJC is in charge of regulating the judiciary.
Yes.
If any judiciary is found one thing, it behoves on the NJC to set up a panel to investigate. And if there is anything against that erring officer, they impose the sanctions to the extent of removal,
even up to the point of removal
of the judge,
of the erring judge.
But in the case of Omoogun, it was a court. It wasn't even a court, a tribunal, code of conduct, properly so called, that through an ex parte motion, an ex parte application, a lawyer filed an ex parte application against Omoogun, and it was upheld by the code of conduct tribunal, and they use that an ex parte application. The ex parte application simply means that aspirations are brought by one party without joining issue with the other party at all. The matter has not been heard. It means that Omoogun was not put on notice when there was a complaint of grievous nature
against him.
It violated his fundamental right as an individual. If you had a complaint against me, I ought to know and respond that Mr. Oladapo, you have been leveled so and so these allegations. What is your comment? That is the essence of Section 36 of the Constitution.
In which case you are alluding now that Omoogun didn't get fair hearing.
He didn't get fair hearing. It was all those issues that canvassed before the code of conduct then, but it was thrown out. If you follow the process properly, the code of conduct acted like a, how do I put it, like a coup,
like a court martial, like
a Gestapo police. Wow. So it didn't follow, like you have said, that we need to be methodical in our process. We need to follow the process to come to a conclusion. But in the case of Omoogun, no due process was followed. Ordinarily, I would say, without fear of contradictions, that code of conduct tribunal that tried him had no virus, had no power, no locus to do that. That power of sanctioning more or less CJN of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who was appointed by the Constitution, not by the Code of Conduct. It ought to be by the NJC, which is equally a creation of the Constitution for that purpose, not for the Code of Conduct. I think the Code of Conduct can recommend
at best.
They could recommend. So it's on that basis that they remove. So fundamentally, it was wrong for Omoogun to be tried by code of conduct in the way and manner
it was done.
It was done.
Wow. Now, and that now led to his removal.
And the deed has been done.
Exactly you know exactly where I'm going.
The deed has been
done. can that deed that has been done be undone?
No, it couldn't be undone.
It cannot be done even through compensation.
I might not be able to say that.
Yeah, because he still had a few months to go before he was summarily.
Ordinarily.
Exactly. I think he still had a few months to go, but he was so summarily asked to proceed on retirement based on that.
We have not looked at. We have not seen the judgment of the Court of Appeal that, like you have said,
whether there is some
acquitted him of that charge.
Yeah. So
maybe, I don't know, it depends on, like we say, that court is not a Father Christmas. So it depends on what application they made before
the court.
Before they incorporated the appeal. At the appeal level, it might be very difficult to bring in issues
that were not originally part of the
at the lower court.
And it is very unlikely that he could have been talking about compensation at the Court of Conduct.
But like you have said,
tribunal.
Compensation is foreseeable.
Okay.
So in every context, but how do we do that? So I think doing that should be through a judicial process. So whether we have laws and facts which the court can look into and recommend compensations.
All right.
It's not because you see you can use a discretions that no, let's compensate him. No, you have to follow the law. And that's the essence of the rule of law.
Yes, because again, what this leads us to is that you have a situation where many times, even when justice is given, it looks as though justice is still not done. What do I mean by that? Even though justice has been pronounced, there's been a judicial pronouncement, but the beneficiary cannot enjoy anything substantial from the judgment, and I do not think that really helps whoever is involved in such a matter.
Okay, like you have said, justice, like in aphorism, is a three-way traffic.
Okay.
Justice for the victim.
Yes.
Justice for the other parties, and justice for the society. Maybe in the context of allocating justice, so society will be satisfied in as much as the right thing
has been done.
Yes. Ordinarily, like you have said, the victim may not benefit directly from that justice, but in a way that is a way that the victim will be assuaged, will be relieved
of whatever,
whether you call it psychological or physiological, in whatever way, or emotionally, at least the truth has been established.
Yes.
Like in the word of Soyinka, said that when they put up truth commission in South Africa, he said he believed in it, but he believed in truth first, but reconciliation. What they put in place there was truth and reconciliation. So truth does not necessarily lead to reconciliation, but let's establish the truth first. So the judgment in bringing justice, if the right thing has been done, the truth has been established, and so far the truth has been established, the first condition of justice has been met. So it's now left for
that victim
reconciliation aspect or direct benefit,
which is the one I'm talking about.
Conceded, yes.
Although talking in another context, even when the victim, from what you have said now, even when the victim doesn't really benefit in terms of, doesn't have material benefits, you have pointed out it could benefit psychologically. Because when a name has been maligned and now the truth has been set in order, then that name is restored.
Exactly.
At least that goes a long way.
Exactly.
That goes a long way.
The same way I would say that you could rob me of my silver,
but you know,
of my gold, but my names, I've forgotten the exact phrase, which, because robbing me of my name will not enrich you, but it will make me poor indeed. That's how the Shakespeare put it. So when you are robbed of silver and gold, you can, anybody that rob you of that is enriched. But when you rob somebody of his reputation, it doesn't hurt to you, but he has made the person.
It has depleted the other person. It has diminished the damaged. We'll go on a break right now, and then when we'll come back, we'll take it from there. Wow.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTANTV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people repurpose the harmony symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTANTV News at 7.
We found that this 10 naira tax is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching, and join us again at 9 p.m.
KAFTANTV News.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTANTV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
This is your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTANTV.
Please keep watching KAFTANTV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTANTV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
This is your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTANTV.
Please keep watching KAFTANTV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTANTV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
This is your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTANTV.
Please keep watching KAFTANTV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black. comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTANTV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on to the Polity, coming to you live from the Abuja station of KAFTAN Television. And we're talking this afternoon about judicial pronouncements and whether we can still trust that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. And with me to do this right here has been Barrister Lekan Oladapo. Once again, thanks for being here. Yes. Now, quickly, if you've been watching this, we invite you to partake so we can, like I say all the time, we can build the nation of our dream together as we get your own take, your own contributions to this program. And it's possible that you're even a lawyer, and so you have some technical knowledge about what we're talking about. Let's make use of your skill, of your knowledge, please. And whoever it is that wants to call, the number is open now. It's on the screen right now. 080-299-38365. Please do us a favor, and yourself also a favor, by ensuring that the volume of your TV set is low, first of all, and that you move away from your TV set, and that as much as possible, if you can put down the main points of what you want to talk about, so that you don't have to unnecessarily have to waste time. You can articulate your ideas smoothly and flawlessly, and so we look forward to having you call in right away. Now, on this last segment, I want to look at the Rivers debacle, the Rivers state saga that has gotten to the point where the court had to come in and say, don't release allocation to the state. First of all, there are a whole lot of things that have led up to this, that got the situation to this head, to this pass. And so I'm going to ask you, do you think that this is the right decision, or what could have been done in the alternative? Maybe I should open up a little bit more. Now, when the 23 lawmakers, because the kernel, the basis on which the court said the allocation of the state should be withheld, is the point that only 4 members of the House of Assembly legislated on the budget, passed the budget. But we do know that there were things that happened before then where it was purported, it was reported that 23 lawmakers had defected from their party, and which would have meant that automatically they had lost their seats, which in the understanding of the governor and his camp, if I understand well, is the basis on which he went ahead to present his budget, the appropriation bill, to the 4 members that were remaining. Now, from what we have in the public space, who's wrong, who's right? You're not the judge, but I mean, just give us some legal advice.
Yes, I think what first struck me as a legal practitioner, as an individual, is the fact that 2 wrongs never make a right. I've not seen any of the parties in questions that is right on this process from the day one. Ordinarily, the law provides that inasmuch as there is a crisis in the political parties, and as a result of that crisis, it now leads to defections, like it happened in Rivers State, that those who defected ought to vacate
their seats.
So that is the position of the law. But there are a lot of arguments, front and back, that
as to what constitutes a proper defection.
Crisis.
Okay, first of all,
in the parties. So it's a matter of facts. Whether the PDP, there was an implosion in the PDP as a party.
At that point? At
that point, that culminated into defections into other parties. So it's an issue that I cannot say whether there was a implosion, whether there was not. But that is what the law says. So nevertheless, having defected to the other party, ordinarily there should have been election
to replace
those who defected.
Now
for a sitting governor presenting a budget
to 4 members.
If you remember 50,
that's why you said both parties are not right.
The intendment, the purport of the court decision in Inokuju and Adeleke. That's the case of removal of Senator Ladoja when he was the governor of Oyo State.
Okay.
You know, some members of the house sat in Durovan in an hotel, in a private place outside the House of Assemblies, and took a decision to remove the governor from the power. The court look at it. There is no way that people could have constituted house in the strict sense of the word. You could not leave the legislative
precincts,
yes, the Halo chamber, to go to a private eatery and now say you remove a sitting governor.
Now,
so it could be, I'm coming, sir.
Yes.
It could be alluded to this now. How could 4 members constitute
the House of
Assembly to now pass as sensitive, as constitutional, as statutory the budget of the state? I think it is wrong, both in law and in fact. It's not only wrong morally to doing that, but our politicians, they have thrown caution into the wind.
Yeah.
What we are operating now, I could say, is anarchy. You remember, sir, that in the same period when that there was imbroglio, when that crisis was festering in River State between the defected members,
yes,
and the governor. You know, the governor have to carry, the bulldozer to demolish a building that was maintained, that was built and maintained by taxpayer money. That is against the law. So I would have said that single act is enough to remove a governor in a state where sanity prevails. So everything is politics. So politics, like we have said, is affecting our law, is creating more disorderliness, as it were. So now, on the question of allocation, whether the government, the federal government, is right to stop allocation.
And the court, I don't want to say that. I think it's some individuals that took the matter.
The court can take a decision on that. Whether they take that decision rightly or wrongly is another issue. But I think the court is competent to do that. On the basis of law. You know, before then, the Supreme Court had taken a position where on the local government autonomy, and that becomes the law.
Yeah.
And any court of the land, like we have said before, that Section 2873, as you know, follow judicial precedence, where the lower courts must respect
the higher court.
So since the Supreme Court has made pronouncement on the independence, autonomy, so if the court feel that the process of the elections
was flawed,
flouted any law in the land or the decision of the Supreme Court, then the court has power to sanctions, to order that allocating money to that local government is a contradiction of the law.
Because as far as the law is concerned, they have not been properly elected, right?
Properly elected. I don't know the way they look at it.
Now, because you see, I think that was it the Supreme Court also, after they granted the autonomy of the local government areas, they also put a time limit within which elections must be held.
Correct.
Now, with the kind of situation we have in Rivers State, and if indeed that election which held a few weeks back in that state is not recognized by law, there's every tendency that the original deadline that was set, the state may not be able to meet it. Will that not create a constitutional crisis?
Ordinarily, what we are experiencing now is a crisis.
Yes, already.
It's a crisis already. It's only that the crisis is gathering momentum.
It's getting worse.
Every day,
yes.
Everywhere. Because you have a situation where everybody, a street hawker, is interpreting law the way she believes the law is. And the governor can sit down in his house, instead of seeking legal opinion, interpreting the law. And the same governor is casting aspersions of people that feel that whether they are legal practitioners that are not supporting his position, calling them that they are not genuine legal luminary, authentic legal luminary. So it has come to a situation of chaos, anarchy, where nobody is following the law, everybody is giving law different interpretation, and doing that, we are not giving the court the respect that it deserves to interpret the law.
Dear viewer, I expect your call. Nigerians are waiting for you to weigh in on this matter, and the number remains 0802993835. Let's do this, fellow Nigerians. Now, so the crisis is already there.
It's already on ground.
And is
graduating.
It's getting progressively worse.
We hear different stories every day. So at the end of the day, like they used to say that when two elephants fight,
exactly,
the grass suffer. It's the common man
that will suffer this.
That is suffering this. The taxpayers that is working endlessly
and paying taxes
and
expecting dividends of democracy.
How could the governor of a state concentrate to govern the state in the middle of the crisis? It's very, very difficult. How could minister himself, who is saddled with responsibilities of supervising Federal Capital Treaty, how is he going to do it well with all this
with the distraction?
So it has now become a personal fight. I think we have been experiencing this thing from long. We used to hear, though it's not a fight in public domain, that the situation that generated crisis in the wide west was about personal issues,
personal differences.
The elites.
Barrister, oops, okay, we lost him. A call was about to come in, but we lost him already. So
I think we have a problem with the elites, our political
personal problems.
We think the elite into the public place and affecting governance.
Society.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if this will go. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's the name?
And
the name is?
Mr. Adesoye.
Adesoye. Adesoye. All right, go on now.
Yeah. The appeal court judgment. Said the governor removed the affidavit removal of indictment from the court, that he shot himself on the foot. So I don't know why the governor shot himself on the foot by removing the case from the court. Because the agreement he made with the Mr. President is to remove the case from the court. He removed the case. Later, he brought the case back. And the appeal said, you shot yourself on the foot. So I don't know how that case will go. Because the 27 House of Assembly, they are still authentic member of River State House of Assembly. The two court judgments, the Omoogun judgment, the appeal court judgment, favor those guys, those 27 guys. So I don't know what the Supreme Court will do now. You send this to them, stop happening to them.
All right, thank you, Mr. Adesoye. Thank you so much. Now, let me ask you. He said there was a court case that was instituted by the governor and his camp, which he later withdrew based on the council of the truce. Yes. Now that singular act has put him in a very difficult position. Let me ask you: is it bad if you bring? I mean, is it bad? I mean, does it mean a case cannot be represented if you bring up?
It can.
So why would the governor not now utilize that option?
I wouldn't know, but by and large, because we cannot speak for the government.
Yes.
Because when it comes to politics, a lot of intrigues.
Exactly. All kinds of
things interplay, which it might not be able to control. So maybe that led to certain decisions it took. But like you have rightly said, that it could always come back. But maybe what development after that, it was not in the situations to bring the case back. But nevertheless, like Mr. Dayo has rightly pointed, we have to wait
for the Supreme Court.
For the Supreme Court to decide on it. Is the final court that will end all the.
Let's hear from this person. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Let's have your name and where you're calling from.
Okay. My name is Zawane Namdi Asai, and I'm calling from Asaba.
All right. So how's Asaba today?
Asaba is closer by you.
Hot and beautiful.
Great. So let's have a contribution quickly.
Okay. From what I see that the governor is doing, I think he's trying to release himself from his predecessor. What is going on down here may not be interpreted well with people outside, but we all here, we are seeing that the predecessor has formed a cabal, and he is legally literate enough to push the governor to the wall. So he wants him to make a critical mistake. So I think from the standpoint of the law, he's breaking the law. Yes, the governor is breaking the law. But from what we can see here and what everybody is perceiving from down here, we believe that it is the former governor and his cohorts that are pushing the governor to the wall.
Thank you, Osai. Well, what that means then is that the governor must recover himself from the wall and position himself properly if he's going to remain in the fight, because the days ahead are very tricky. I see a situation where if even one sitting, the next sitting where the 27 people are complete, it could be disastrous for the governor. And I don't want to say more than that, but I think that that might be on the cards, like maybe an impeachment process. So,
like what I'm saying in essence is we need a lot of legal assistance. And I believe that the learned people out there can look for a way to help him out. Because if we allow the former governor to have his way, it will be tyranny. It will be tyranny. Full tyranny. The man is wicked.
No,
tyranny. I think
let's not go the route of wicked and that kind of word. Now, okay, so as far as you're concerned, it's tyrannical. Thank you, Osai. Thank you for calling. Now, so Osai is saying, hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's still Mr.
Oh, okay. But you know, I have a problem with your call. I have a problem with your call, and I'm going to have to cut it now if you do not reduce the volume of your TV set. Yeah. Maybe we'll call back. Yeah. So Osai is saying the governor has made some mistakes, which may really put him in some very difficult place, and that he needs legal assistance. Do you think there's any assistance that can help him now? Because from what is going on now, there's every likelihood that when next the House sits, except they're going to perpetually not allow this House to sit, if the House sits and those ones who were believed to have defected before and now who are arguing their way back and saying they were not, if they have opportunity even once to sit, there's every likelihood that one item that will be on the legislative agenda for that day is likely going to be, and the legislatures know how to do such magic that within a set time they can achieve what they want. So what help can be given to this man, or should he seek a political solution?
Correct. I think political solution is the only way out. There's no way legal solution, though it is tidier to go the way of legal, but the way the thing is going, I'm looking at it, it's an option choice. Government doesn't have a choice. When you look at the rights, if at the end of the day there is a pronouncement from the upper court that these people are properly, you know, there was no defection.
There was no defection.
That
will sound.
They will make life
very difficult.
Very difficult for the governor. And I believe the governor has his own clout, and he may, resort to his clout. And the essence of that is chaos.
It will really
disorderliness,
exactly.
And that can bring back what is not envisaged or expected, state of emergency.
State of emergency.
So if there's a state of emergency in the state, the governor is already out. So whether it comes through the impeachment
or through
is already out. Whether he want to, fall back on his clouds and they create chaos that people will not see. The government people will use the law to force them to sit. So if they not hired, non-actors to frustrate that, there will be problems.
Oh, okay. I was going to take the last call. Once we have any other call now, I'll take it, and then just get ready your last line. What is the message for the judiciary? What is the message if you had the ears of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who also doubles as the chairman of the CJN? What would you be saying to him in order to have a better judiciary for Nigeria? But right after this call. Hello? Yeah. Good. This is better, yeah? Go on.
Yeah, the government is very fine gentleman. I know this man very well. I retired in Port as a customer.
Okay.
I stayed in Port for 27 years.
Right.
I'm now at home in the city. That governor, I know that governor. This one was university. He's a gentleman, fine gentleman. But people like DTAH, people like that, strangers. They are all over harassing. the man confused. They were telling the whole world that they are making peace with wicked Godfather. But the people around it, they know, don't do this, you know. Because the president interfere on this matter. The president come back to Port Harcourt, the president and the people are benefited from the governor. Okay, the governor says, he's now come to River State and started brainwashing the governor. Don't respect the president. President have no right to River State. He's interpreting the law. Now, okay, they have said the whole word that Tinubu don't want Supreme Court. He's telling everybody yesterday. So the Supreme Court just said they have it. So, people, the case finger, is all this problem that they got now. For that man alone, is a fine gentleman.
Right, Mr. Adesanya, we have to go now. So, what's your recommendation to the governor? Oops, it's gone. Okay, so Barrister, we need to begin to round up. Yeah.
Okay, I think the Daniel has come to the judgment.
All right.
The new CGN has come to place, and during her inaugural speech, she made it that she would enforce discipline in the legal professions. And from what we hear about a record, that we believe that she is going to do just that. So if there is discipline is in place and is enforced without fear or favor, it will assuage, it will resolve a lot of problems. Because court, like we have said in the beginning, court is a cornerstone of the society. When the court make it right, society is going to be right.
Thank you very much. It's at this point that we call it a day on the show this beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and I encourage you to stay tuned to this station. There are so many other beautiful programs coming right after this one, and the Polity comes up tomorrow again, the same time, and I'll be here by His grace on Thursday again, and we'll do this together. Please don't forget to tell your neighbor that KAFTAN TV is where it's happening right now. And on that note, thank you very much for coming, Barrister Oladapo.
Thank you.
My name remains Dayo Omoogun. I say a big thank you to the production team, wonderful people. Thank you so very much. And the producer, thank you so much, sir. And Nigerians, thank you for being there.